He's a senator from Massachusetts, Ed Markey. Senator, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
So great to be with you. Yeah, not even a harmonica. I can't.
Not even a...
There was a musical bypass operation. I think I thought when I was born. Nothing.
Yeah. Can you keep a tune? Can you sing?
Sister Karita didn't think so in the sixth grade.
Okay.
And, you know, I've been trying to make up for it for the rest of my life. She decided that me and Danny Ridden, we would not go to the cathedral to sing for the other 50 boys got on the bus.
Oh,
So
no.
I'm still recovering that. I'm in musical recovery program ever since. But I appreciate, I'm the greatest audience in the world.
Okay. Well,
thanks for joining us, Senator.
Thank you very much
it.
for joining us. So we're, of course, in this shutdown. Senate Majority Leader John Thune thinks that the shutdown will end this week. So does that mean that the Democrats are going to vote to end the shutdown?
Well, what John Thune wants, what Speaker Johnson wants, is for the Democrats to agree to end the shutdown without the Republicans agreeing to provide for the health care for Americans, which is what this whole debate is all about. It's about providing the premium tax credit support. In Massachusetts, it's 337,000 people. I was at an event on Saturday where there was a man, Jeff, who needs cancer drugs to help him through, and he right now has been paying $30,000 because of the premium tax credit supports. He would be paying $300,000 if we do not get those programs put back into place. So that's what this debate's all about. In Massachusetts, it's 337,000 stories. Across the country, it's 20 million stories. And until John Thune and Speaker Johnson come to the table, we're not going to be able to resolve this issue. It should be one vote. We reopen the government and we take care of the health care of Americans at the same time. And right now, they have still not come to the table. They're in a political witness protection program scattered around the country for the last 6 weeks. And until they come back, until we see the specifics, then no deal is possible.
Senator, your colleague, Sheldon Whitehouse, from Rhode Island, was with us last week. And here's what he said, which I asked him about twice to make sure I got it right. He said that if you, meaning the Democrats in the Senate, could come to an agreement with the Republicans in the Senate on a fix to the Obamacare, to the health care issues you and your fellow Democrats have raised, he would vote, and he thought the Democrats would vote to reopen the government, and he didn't use this word, but I think it's fair on my part, and trust that the Republicans would honor the agreement that they had reached prior to the Democrats voting to reopen the thing. Would you agree to such a thing? Would you trust them to honor an agreement they made to get you to vote yes to reopen?
My perspective, there's nothing to be learned from the second kick of a mule. We had already agreed on the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, NPR, PBS. We had already agreed on USAID. They came in with a rescission after the fact, after the deal had been cut, in order to slash those programs. So, you know, the great humorous Oscar Levant, he used to say, covering a situation like this, describing the Republicans, we'll double-cross that bridge when we get to it. So I don't trust them. The thing should happen simultaneously. If they want us to trust them, then we can trust them right now. We sit down at the table. It's pretty simple what it is that we need to do in order to provide for the health care of Americans. And if they're unwilling to do it this week, and then we allow them to get what they want, it's highly probable, given the underlying political pathology that they are operating under, that we will not get the benefits that we need for families across the Commonwealth and across the country.
So unless the Republican leadership in both houses and the president signs on to a deal, you would not vote to reopen the government. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I don't trust them.
Okay.
And I think I and the American people have good reason not to trust them, given what they have been doing this year. And given what Donald Trump keeps saying, which is that he's going to target Democratic programs. And that means Medicare, Medicaid, Affordable Care Act, Social Security. The Republicans voted against all those programs in the first place. And he keeps saying he's going to target them, and he's targeting Massachusetts. He's targeting other states who he believes are um, uh, not friendly towards him. So his administration just operates under Godfather Part 1 rules. He gives everyone offers they can't refuse, and if you do, you just have to pay the price down the line. So I am absolutely not going to sign off on anything where I don't see what it is that the people of Massachusetts get for their health care, and that's 337,000 people.
We're talking to Senator Ed Markey.
Senator, tell us about your press conference on tariffs.
Well, the president has been acting unconstitutionally. He's relying upon a 1977 law, which he says gives him the emergency powers to impose tariffs around the world. Now, here's what happened in 1977. Jimmy Carter was the president of the United States. I don't think anyone believes that Republicans in Congress in 1977 were allowing Jimmy Carter to become a king, to become a dictator, to do whatever he wanted on tariffs at any time, and to usurp the constitutional power of the United States Congress, what the tariffs should be. So right now in Massachusetts and across the country, by the way, we have 700,000 small businesses in Massachusetts. 7 million people, 700,000 small businesses, one for every 10 people. And he's turning Main Street into Pain Street across our country and across the country. So I've introduced my bill, brought it out to the Senate floor, attempted to force a vote, and the Republicans have rejected it over and over again. And that's to exempt small businesses from the tariffs. 97% of all the businesses who are in trade are small businesses. And it's about a third of all of the trade in our nation. And it's killing Main Street companies all across Massachusetts and the country. And so we need relief for those small businesses right now and their employees. And by the way, with regard to the premium tax benefit, it's 10 million small businesses and their employees in America who receive those benefits as well. So he is absolutely punishing Main Street. And the tariff is just a tax on Main Street and on our families.
So, Senator, I know that nuclear proliferation is something that's concerned you for a long time. I saw the piece you wrote, I think, for MSNBC about the House of Dynamite, the film about nuclear attack on the United States, and make your case that disarmament is the only solution. In the short term, Donald Trump is saying one thing about nuclear testing, and his Secretary of Energy is saying something that is diametrically different from what Trump is saying. Where do you think the truth lies, and how anxious should it make us?
It should make us very anxious. America, led by Trump, is sleepwalking into a new massive nuclear arms race with Russia, with China. The United States and China and Russia have not tested nuclear weapons since at least 1996 because of the comprehensive test ban. So when Trump says the other countries are testing, he's just lying, or he has no idea what he's talking about, just making it up as he usually does. The problem is that we had conducted 1,000 nuclear tests before 1996, and China had only conducted 45. So we have much more technological sophistication. What Trump is talking about would be a gift to China if he began testing, then the Chinese and the Russians would as well. I actually think that he's being contradicted in a significant way by his own Department of Energy, because that's not really what he's talking about. I think what he's talking about is the news last week where Russia said they had tested 2 new delivery systems, 2 new missiles for nuclear weapons. That's a different thing from testing the actual nuclear bomb itself. And the reason that these other countries are testing these missiles is that the United States pulled out of the anti-ballistic. Russia and China are building more and more sophisticated missiles to overcome the quote-unquote Golden Dome, which is just going to be a golden sieve. And that's what the movie A House of Dynamite was all about. It was just showing that this whole thing is a lie, it's a fiction, and our own government says that when we attempt to shoot down incoming missiles, we're only effective 50% of the time. You cannot have 50% of nuclear bombs hitting American cities. You can't have 40 or 30 or 10%. If only 10 or 15 of these bombs get through, that's 100 to 150 million people in the United States. So he should be going to the negotiating table. He should be accepting Putin's invitation to extend the New START treaty for another year, which is the control we have right now on nuclear weapons, instead of provoking these countries into a new, massive, expensive nuclear arms race, which is going to spend the money that we should be spending on healthcare and education, environment, and other programs in our country for the people in our society.
One quick follow-up on this. Do your Republican colleagues not care about this issue, or they're just too scared to criticize Trump on anything, including this? Does any of them care about this issue?
I'm glad that he has stumbled into this issue. I'm glad that A House of Dynamite was released. And by the way, 22 million Americans watched that movie last week.
Really?
Million Americans. So Rand Paul cares about it. It's hard to find other people who care about it as well, but they should, because this is a very expensive $3 trillion mistake, which our country is right now engaging in, and the Chinese and the Russians are not going to sit.
By the way, that's 22 million people more than watched the Springsteen movie, just to be clear, for
Yeah, it didn't do that
statistical
well.
We're talking Ed Markey.
Senator Markey, let me ask you a political question. It's election day today in many places across the country. Zoran Mandami is expected, the Democratic Socialist is expected to win in New York. We'll see what happens. But Mickey Sherrill, a moderate, so-called moderate Democrat, is her lead is closed in New Jersey. She's neck and neck with her opponent. I'm wondering, at the same time you see Trump's numbers really low, the lowest they've been in his presidency, disapproval across the boards. What do you make of the fact, I mean, New Jersey's often a blue state. Maybe she'll pull it out, but what do you make of her chances, and what do you make of people's animus toward the Democrats, despite their bigger animus toward Donald Trump?
Well, first, I have endorsed Mamdani in New York City, but I also believe that Stamberger and Sherrill are going to win very substantially today, notwithstanding the polls. We really feel very strongly that there is a massive turnout that is going to be engendered in both of those races, in Virginia and in New Jersey. People aren't agonizing. They've been organizing for weeks and months for today. And we're very confident that she is going to win a very comfortable victory in New Jersey. But that's only going to be after all of the efforts today to get our vote out. It's there, and we are seeing all across the country people wanting to provide a check on Trump. And they may not agree with every Democratic policy, but they do believe there has to be a check on Trump. And I think we're going to see that big time tonight, and it's going to be a preview of coming attractions for Donald Trump's political life over the next year in terms of what is unfolding in our nation.
Speaking of the next year, you probably are aware you're running for re-election next year. Last week, Congressman Seth Moulton was with us, and he said, and he's obviously challenging you in the Democratic primary, and he said what he has said in a number of places, which is, one, he agrees with you on most or the vast majority of issues, but that you've been there too long and you're too old. What's your response to what the congressman says, Senator?
Well, this is the most energized that I've ever been. Donald Trump gets me up every single day, walking, talking, constitutional crisis, attacking all of the programs that make Massachusetts and our country great, from healthcare, NIH research, to our offshore wind and clean energy programs, on and on. These are the programs for which I have been fighting throughout my career successfully. And Trump is now launching an attack against them, as he is launching an attack against our very democracy. So from my perspective, I am up, I am fighting. It's not your age, it's the age of your ideas. And I'm still the youngest guy in the room when it comes to looking ahead and leading the way on the issues that are most important for the future. And I am going to continue to do that as long as I'm given the honor by the people of Massachusetts to represent them.
But you want to do wonder just on a personal level, Senator. I mean, you've been a senator, you've been in Congress for a long time. I mean, wouldn't you like to, like, before you get too old, like take one of those Viking cruises or something up and down the rivers in Europe, or hang out with the grandkids, or do some of these things, you know, that a lot of people say, when I retire, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. No?
Well, I get to visit Northampton. I get to visit New Bedford and the Whaling Museum. I get to visit the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield. I get to visit all 351 cities and towns that have these. Each one has a unique identity, and it's a privilege and an honor for me to do that. And I'm not unlike you, Marjorie. I'm not unlike Jim. I started reading, you know, the paper, in my case, the Boston Globe, when I was about 15 years old.
Yeah.
And so my hobby is politics. In other words, if I wasn't doing this in my role right now, I'd still be reading the front page every day.
All right, you're not a golfer, I guess. You're not a golfer, Senator.
I wish we could do something about it, yeah.
So, Senator, one more thing on this, though. We hear you. You are 79. You'll be 80, I believe, by Election Day. What's your, other than showing what you describe as your vibrancy and the newness of your ideas, what else do you plan to do to ensure that voters have confidence that age is not an issue? I mean, you know that decline in people over 80, for example, is often rapid. I mean, have you thought about medical or cognitive or other tests that you'd fully disclose to the public? What are your intentions to allay whatever concerns voters have about the age issue, Senator?
Yeah, well, whether it's Bernie Sanders or many others who I could mention, they are doing the job every single day for the American people. And I am going to continue to do that job for Massachusetts and for the American people. And obviously, the legislation that I've introduced, my AI Civil Rights Act, my AI and Environment Act, my AI and Workers Act, my AI and Privacy Act. That's looking ahead and leading on the issues of the future. The same thing is true with regard to my Health Over Wealth Act. That's to keep private equity across the country from doing what they did to the Steward health care system. And it's my work, my continuing work on climate and green energy related issues that will be a vibrant part of the Massachusetts economy, protect against greenhouse gases. And I think what's going to happen is people are going to be seeing me. They're going to see that I am still in the fight and leading the fight for them in the Senate and across the country.
We should just say there's a poll that came out yesterday of UMass Amherst. It's very early, obviously, a year, well, not a year away, 10 months away from primary day, but Senator has a significant double-digit lead as of the moment over Seth Moulton.
You know, we asked the Attorney General, she was with us earlier, Andrea Joy Campbell, about ICE agents wearing face masks, and she pointed out that there's very little the state can do because it's a federal issue. What can you do federally, if anything, about face masks on ICE agents?
Yeah, and I think the Attorney General is doing a great job in leading on this issue. The Boston police do not wear masks. The state police in Massachusetts, they do not wear masks. And they put themselves in dangerous situations every single day. ICE agents should not be allowed to protect against identifying who they are. And we should ensure that we have accountability for all of what the Trump ICE agents are doing. We have to keep putting a spotlight on it. And if we do that, then we might minimize it. But there's nothing that we can in any way assume that Trump won't give permission to his ICE agents to do. That's why I've introduced legislation to prohibit the ICE agents from using facial recognition technologies, which is what they are doing as they as they move into settings where they're picking up the actual identity of innocent people with their facial recognition technologies, which these ICE agents are, in fact, using. And that's, without question, a per se constitutional violation of the privacy rights. So what they're doing is draconian, it's dangerous, it's surveillance at a level that led to the colonists 250 years ago on the streets of Massachusetts rising up against King George, and we must do the same thing. This authoritarianism does not make us safer. It actually makes the world more dangerous.
You know, Senator, last thing, we'd love to talk to you a lot longer, but the problem is, I'm sure you're aware, it's going to be dark in about 30 minutes. So we've been talking about this for ages. You, a couple of years ago, succeeded in getting the Sunshine Protection Act, year-long daylight saving time, passed by a mere 100 to nothing in the Senate. Pelosi's, Congresswoman Pelosi, Speaker Pelosi didn't bring it up for a vote. Any possibility of this Trump seems to say he wants one thing year-round, even if it's not this. Any prospects for good things to happen or no?
Well, that's my hope. You know, Trump lives in the Sunshine State now, down in Florida. And we are in the kind of the perfectly cloudy state for a big part of the year. But we both love the idea of the daylight being in the evening when people can enjoy it. And we just need the House of Representatives to see the light. You know, because, again, as we've said many times in the past, when it's daylight after work, people are going home, the corners of their mouths turn upwards. They just feel better. They're happier. And that hour is a very special, you know, moment in the course of a day. And right now, it's now going to be 5 o'clock where it's getting pitch black in our cities and all across the country. And my hope is that I can build the coalition as I've done in the past, and where I'll move daylight savings time from the end of April to the beginning of March. But it should be year round. And I'm not giving up, Jim. Politics is not a sprint. It's a marathon. And I've still got Marco Rubio. I now have Rick Scott, God help me, from Florida. And so we're going to keep working as hard as we can to get it over the finish.
By the way, daylight saving has no S on the end, Senator.
That's right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But we really...
And you have corrected me, I think, every single time.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Jim is obsessed with that S at the end of savings.
I am.
We don't really know what the issue is, but we're glad Rick Scott wants more sunshine in the Sunshine State.
It's no different than growing up in Malden with my mother saying, "Eddie, you have to stop dropping your ing." Okay, so
That's right.
So
Your mother was
this
right.
is the opposite column. I add an S, as do many people.
Senator, it's good to see you. Thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us.